I want you to imagine, just for a second, that you could receive a message from your future self, someone who's already walked through the years ahead and knows exactly what's coming. What if that message wasn't cryptic or vague, but written in the language of numbers, right there in your birth date, your name, and your daily rhythms? I used to think numerology was just another new age fad, something mystical and pointless. For years, I ignored it, brushing it off as meaningless. But everything changed when I started paying attention to the numbers in my life, not just the ones on clocks or calendars, but the hidden codes behind them. The moment that changed everything was when I realized those numbers were trying to tell me something urgent, something I needed to hear right now. If you've ever felt stuck, like you're replaying the same chapters in life without understanding why, or if you want to finally step into clarity, purpose, and alignment, then stay with me, because your numerology is trying to speak to you today, and the message from your future might just save you months, even years of confusion. I want to share 5 powerful insights that came from my own struggle and discovery, and I promise they'll give you practical ways to start decoding your life and acting on what your future self is begging you to know. The first lesson felt like a punch in the gut, and a miracle all wrapped together. For a long time, I believed that my fate was set in stone, that no matter what I did, I was on a fixed path my family or circumstances chose for me. But one day, after I calculated my life path number and learned what it really meant, I discovered my core personality was not who I thought it was. And more importantly, it wasn't my destiny either. The problem was, I was living someone else's narrative. Everything changed when I saw that numbers like 1, 5, or 7 each carry not just traits, but a roadmap for challenges and growth. My life path number was a 5, which meant I was all about freedom and adventure, but also prone to chaos and restlessness. Suddenly, decades of feeling lost didn't feel like failure. They made sense. More importantly, understanding this wasn't an excuse to stay stuck, but a blueprint to lean into my natural strengths and work on what trips me up. The result was that beginning to act on this understanding gave me the courage to quit a job I hated, start writing again, and stop apologizing for my quirks. If you want to start, try this now. Find your life path number by adding up the digits of your birth date until you get a single number between 1 and 9. Google it and start reading what it means, but don't just read it once. Observe how it shows up in your daily choices this week. The challenge is to watch your reactions and see if they align with or resist those traits. The second revelation hit me when I realized that numbers don't just reveal who we are, but what days are more aligned for action and what days might bring obstacles. This might sound like astrology or superstition, and I resisted it at first. But then I started tracking the energy of days linked to numerology, like your personal day number. That tells you if today is good for starting something new or better for reflecting and recharging. Here's the thing. When I used to push hard every day, ignoring these natural rhythms, I burned out fast. But once I understood when to push and when to pause, my productivity didn't just improve. My mental health got a huge upgrade. Think of it like the tides of the ocean. Trying to swim against the tide exhausts you and often fails. But swimming with the tide gets you to shore faster and stronger. The application was immediate. By tracking my personal day number, I realized some days I was wired to network or negotiate, and some days I was meant to be quiet and create. When I followed that, things flowed with less resistance. Try this. Starting today, calculate your personal day number by adding your life path number to the day of the month. Then check what energy that number represents. Commit to adjusting at least one important decision based on what you learn about your daily numerology this week. The third insight is deeply personal and vulnerable for me. For a long time, I wanted to believe I controlled everything. My choices, my relationships, even my success. But numerology taught me that some things are written in a wider cosmic script, and resisting them causes unnecessary pain. The challenge was accepting that certain lessons, even failures, were part of my design journey. That lesson came through my expression number. which is calculated from the letters in my full name. It reveals how I communicate and express myself. When I saw mine was driving me toward creativity, but revealed my biggest fears might sabotage me if I did not embrace authenticity. I had to confront a hard truth. I was hiding who I really was behind people pleasing, trying to fit an image of success. Everything changed when I admitted that hiding wasn't protecting me. It was trapping me. I embraced those aspects of myself, the numbers revealed as gifts in disguise. The result was liberating. My relationships improved, my creativity soared, and I felt more peace in uncertainty. If you want to try this, find your expression number by converting each letter of your full birth name into numbers following the chart online. Write down all the words that come up in the meaning and choose one small action aligned with what you learn. For me, it was writing a personal journal entry every day, really honest and raw about my feelings. The fourth message from my numerology was about cycles, not just days or years, but larger life cycles like personal years and pinnacles. I ignored this for a long time, thinking it was unnecessary complexity. But then I hit a hard low point 6 months ago, wondering why everything seemed off despite my best efforts. That's when I discovered I was in a personal year 9, something numerologists describe as a time for closure and releasing what no longer serves you. That realization was a game changer. Instead of fighting against the discomfort, I started asking, what do I need to let go of? What endings are calling me? The result was bittersweet but powerful. I ended a toxic friendship, sold old belongings, and forgave myself for mistakes I'd been carrying for years. It was like cleaning out a closet packed with emotional clutter. The challenge here is to reflect on what personal year you're in now by adding your birth month and day to the current year, then reducing it like other numbers. Use it as a guide to nurture yourself accordingly. Allow for endings or new beginnings as the cycle demands. The last and most urgent message from your future through numerology is about alignment and timing with your soul's purpose. I used to skip this part because it felt too abstract and idealistic, but when I started paying attention to my soul urge number, the number hidden inside my name that reveals what my deepest desires really are, it changed how I saw my goals. This number forced me to dig deep into what I truly wanted, not what others expected from me. The crazy part was this number isn't just about dreams, but about urgency. If I ignored it, my future self warned of regret, missed opportunities, and a life half-lived. When I aligned with my soul urge number, I finally started making choices that felt meaningful, even if scary. More importantly, I stopped wasting energy on distractions that didn't serve me. Try this now. Calculate your soul urge number by adding the vowels in your full birth name and reducing it to 1 digit. Then ask yourself, what step you can take today that resonates with what that number calls you to be or do. It might be speaking up in a meeting, finally starting that side hustle, or saying no to something draining. I know this might all sound overwhelming or even weird at first. Trust me, I thought the same thing. But what saved me was just starting small and chronicling how these little shifts made me feel and what they triggered inside of me. Numerology gave me a language for my intuition and helped me untangle years of confusion and self-doubt. If you're still skeptical or feel stuck, that's totally normal. The key is this: these numbers are not fixed fate, but invitations from your future self to create a better present. Think of them as signposts on a road trip you're taking without a GPS. When you know what the signs mean, the journey becomes clearer, smoother, and yes, more exciting. So, what's your number saying to you today? What if your future self is trying to tell you to slow down, speed up, heal, or leap? The challenge and the invitation is to tune in with vulnerability and curiosity. Honor whatever feels true and leave the rest behind. If you want to keep exploring this, try journaling one insight you discover from your numerology each day for a week, and notice how it shifts your perspective or your choices. And tell me in the comments, what number did you calculate first? What feeling or message came to you? We're in this together, and your journey doesn't have to be lonely or confusing anymore. If this message resonated with you, hit like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need to hear that their future self is already cheering them on. Remember, your numbers are not just digits. They're messages, guides, and sometimes wake-up calls.